and each and every face, through endless time in every place. Her beauty's brighter than the stars. Her love's the greatest gift by far. Her wisdom's woven every step. She gives her grace in every breath. Oh, Jai Ma. Oh, Jai Ma. This earth's filled up with all her might. Her power creates both day and night. Lightning and thunder sing her song, with earthquakes dancing to her drum. Her peace resounds on mountains high, in ocean's depths, in boundless skies, in desert sands, in eagles' cries, in tears of joy within our eyes. Oh, Jai Ma. Oh, Jai Ma. She helps us know what's wrong and right, and gives our eyes the gift of sight. Her mercy shows us to forgive ourselves and others as we live, to show compassion for each one and understand
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Today we're going to talk about the Universal Mother. Now, first I have to be able to see what I've written. We'll start with a portion of the hymn to the Divine Mother, otherwise known as the Chandi. And actually, Jayanti's song was pretty much a compilation of the whole idea of the Divine Mother being everything. But this is a portion out of the Chandi. O thou irresistible power, thou art the sole support of the world as the sustenance of earth. Thou sustainest it as the substance of water. Thou art the divine energy of infinite potency, the seed of the universe, the supreme Maya. All beings are in delusion, O Divine Mother. When thou art gracious, thou art the way to liberation. Now, why do we say that thou art, all beings are in delusion? According to the Vedanta cosmic all is Brahman. Brahman is the substratum that makes everything possible. But why are we in delusion? Because the creative power of Brahman, the activity, every time we think, speak, or act, is the active power of Brahman, which is Shakti, the Divine Mother. Now, this reminds me of a card that one of our Vedantists did. Who created the sun, the moon, the stars? Who created the forest, the desert, the ocean? Who created the animals, the planets, the universe? The Divine Mother, the feminine force, Prakriti. Who is she? Well, that's going to be what we're going to sort of discuss today. Vedanta says that all is Brahman, that's you, me, and everything that we see, experience, think, anything. Why it happens and how is the mystery of life. However, in attempts to explain it, people have said that in order for the divine Brahman to experience itself, which it isn't itself, it is one. The mother, the active power, creates all of this so she can enjoy the play. This, I remember I struggled with quite a bit, but then have you ever put a child in an empty playground or in a sandbox? And they'll sit there for a couple minutes, and then pretty soon they'll start to think of things to do. They'll start making things, they'll start doing things to entertain themselves. Well, this is kind of the theory that Shakti, the Divine Mother, created this whole thing to amuse herself, to enjoy herself, to be able to do things. And I'm going to paraphrase Swami Vivekananda. Unless you are established in Brahman, have experienced the total experience of Brahman, which they call samadhi, you can't go beyond Shakti, the illusion. As soon as you say, I'm talking, I'm meditating, you have already entered the dream. And when we say it's a dream, it's kind of like a dream. It's very real to us at this point. Very real. Everything we see every day, everything we do every day seems very real. One of the things that I have always thought was a good example for me. 45, 50 years ago, we went to Disneyland, and they showed the haunted house. And you were driving through, I think they still have it, I don't know. But all of a sudden you saw all of these holographic people dancing. And you went, oh, okay. Well, that's really looks real. I mean, that would be what it would be like. That's what we look like to the Divine Mother. We look like holographs on her in the space. She is always doing these things. She first creates this universe, and it's strictly for her pleasure, for her to enjoy herself. I mean, we go out and we do things for pleasure, for love, for pleasure. But why do we not know that it's just a dream? Well, because she gave us intelligence, she gave us senses, outgoing senses. We have the sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, all of these, touch. All of these are to interact with this creation that she has made. And how do we start interacting? Well, our own mother, or the person that takes the role of our mother, from the very first instant of birth, we are brought into this world to start utilizing our senses. We do all kinds of things. I don't know if they still smack babies on the bottom, but that's a very abrupt introduction to touch. We do try and catch their attention. We goo, 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 and tickle them, and everything to do to get them to engage. Now, this is what everyone does. We do it with cats, we do it with kittens, we do it with puppies, we do it with everything tiny that's just entered the world. We want to get them engaged in this creation. So, why? Let's see. Because this world, as I once again say, is created for enjoyment. Now, eventually we get to a point. Why do we keep deluding ourselves? Because we're interested in this. We're interested in the next thing that's going to happen. We look actively for things to do all the time, all of our lives. How many would really like to just sit down and meditate? And how long could you do it? I don't know. I've been working on it for quite a few years, and I still get the twitchies. Period. Not all the time, but sometimes. You get the twitchies, you get the, oh my God, I forgot to do that. I tell myself that's just basic human nature. That's our basic attachment to this delusion. And we can intellectually understand that Brahman is the only reality. And why do we try and make a distinction between the activity and the passive reality, the substratum? Well, because we have a limited understanding and a limited intellect. We cannot comprehend until we experience Brahman. We cannot comprehend that the two are one. There are not two. Shakti and Brahman are exactly the same thing. But they're not a thing. That's the problem. But because the only thing we can do is say it in language, we're very, very limited. Now, how many ways do we try to... Why do we even get bored with this? Why do we want to find a way to realize this whole thing? I think everyone has experienced at the peak of your best experience, the best experience, there's always something that says, surely there must be more. Surely this isn't all there is. Because that's what keeps our society, or our science, everything going. Everyone thinks we haven't reached the end yet. There's more to find. There's more places to go. We're going to start colonizing Mars, and the moon. Now, who would have thought of that 100 years ago? But our minds keep going because we are looking for that union with the ultimate reality. We know that there's something beyond ourselves, something beyond our experiences. And we feel this kind of vague unease, which, I don't know, makes any of you come to churches on Sunday mornings, makes you want to improve yourself, makes you want to find a way to be at peace and happy. Maybe not, we won't say happy, to feel that joy that you know is within you. We all have that, and we have all experienced it, even if it's just a slight experience of that all-pervading joy where you just feel like your heart is expanding, your being is expanding, and there's nothing wrong with the world at that point. You just feel that. It's nothing you can put your finger on that this is what made it happen. But we do feel that, and I think every one of us feels that. Just 1 second. I have identified ourselves, though, with our external environment and our nature. That's what we have identified ourselves with. We define ourselves as our name, our nationality, our race, or whatever. We define ourselves. We limit ourselves by those definitions. And the Divine Mother says, no, you are everything. You are everything. You are part of everything, and everything is part of you. And then she'll say, oh, but look over here. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that interesting? Have you been to, I check Instagram occasionally, and I got the 10 cities you have to see before you leave. And I'm going, okay, and I'm going, this is it. I haven't seen 4 of those cities. Do I really have to go to them? But this is how we are pulled into the external world and pulled away from knowing our Divine Mother. And we all know we've become more aware of the entire planet being our mother, that it's someone that is, the planet is a living being, a living entity, and it's taking care of us, but we have to take care of it too. This is, when I was young, this was not even an idea. Everything was just out there for us to use and take advantage of. But we have now gotten to the point where we see this as a living, breathing entity that we are a part of. Okay. But at the same time, we know that we can experience oneness. We can experience bliss. We know that. Deep in our hearts, we know that we can experience that bliss. Because otherwise, we wouldn't feel a vague emptiness. If you ever have felt that kind of vague, well, what more? Surely there's something. And our constant search in life is to reunite or to realize where we have always been, in Brahman. I know in our memorial service, we say the soul stands where it has always stood. On one geometrical point, it always is, it always has been, it always will be. This is the experience of Brahman. We know this. But we, to quote, well, no, I'm not going to quote him yet. We still get distracted. We want many things, a new car being the least of it. We're searching for love. We look around all over the world. You know, everyone we meet, we judge whether, do they like me, do I like them? If we could get to the point where we went, they are the same as I am. Every single person I meet has the same interior divinity. Okay, we also want money, enough to be comfortable. We want self-knowledge. We want to know ourselves and why we do stuff. We want intelligence. We want recognition. We want power. But really, it's all the search for oneness. Because none of these things will satisfy us. The only thing that will satisfy us is to find our real existence, or real being. But Ramakrishna said, what do? We go like this and say that we cover our eyes and can't see the Divine Mother. We play peekaboo. We say, oh, I saw a little bit, but no, I want to go to Tokyo. I haven't seen Tokyo yet. To quote Swami Vivekananda, though, all powers in the universe are already ours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes and cry out in the darkness. Know that there is no darkness around us. Take your hands away, and there's the light which was there from the beginning. Darkness never existed. Weakness never existed. We who are fools cry that we are weak. We who are fools cry that we are impure. But how do we get there? That's our basic problem. It's really nice to read these things and say, yes, that's what I want. But how do you do it? We have to first of all turn inward and take a look at what's happening inside ourselves. That's one way. And to be brutally honest about why you're doing things, what you hope to get, or are you doing things truly for unselfishly and truly not for yourself, what I used to call self-aggrandizement, making sure that everyone recognizes what you're doing, making sure that you get the praise that you think you need, making sure that people like you, me. So we have to find ways to get beyond that. The first way is self-analysis, and that's really uncomfortable at times. The other way is to know this, surrender, know that there is a power greater than yourself. You are not the center of the universe. That came as a surprise to many children. They're not the center of the universe. Really? I have been for 10 years. Why am I not now? But to realize, to know there's a power greater than yourself, to surrender to that power. Now you can call it the Divine Mother, you can call it Jesus, you can call it God, you can call it whatever you want to call it, as long as you know it is greater than yourself, much, much greater. And you surrender and you have cultivative faith that says that power has been taking care of me all of my life. It will continue to take care of me. there is nothing that's going to make it stop taking care of me, because it knows my very inner being. It is my very inner being. And we have to know that. So cultivating that kind of faith and that kind of surrender is also difficult. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, all said that the easiest way is to love. The easiest way to create this surrender, this faith, is to love something or someone greater than yourself. Now, this is why churches have worship Jesus, they worship Ramakrishna, they worship Krishna, they worship Buddha. We're not supposed to worship Buddha, but I think many Buddhists do. We're supposed to just do our, get our heads straightened out. But I notice there's a tremendous number of statues of Buddha that flowers are offered to every day, that people pay attention to. All of those things are showing your love of that ideal, not necessarily the person, the ideal that they were teaching. That you can get out of pain, you can get out of the suffering of this world. That is not our basic nature to suffer. Our basic nature is to feel joy, love, and knowledge. That's our basic nature. But we have to find that basic nature. And that's what meditation instructions are about. That's what rites and rituals are about. We do a worship here every single day and down in our small shrine. These are things to connect us with the divine, to connect us. They're all things to reiterate in our mind, remind ourselves that we must establish the habit of thinking of God every minute. If we can do that, then we have already escaped suffering. I had someone just asking me, well, how can I, with all the things that are going on in the world, how can I do that? And I said, well, I stopped watching the news. I check in once a week because it's not happening here. And I can't do anything from where I am except pray. So what am I really watching it for? Am I watching it for information, or am I watching it to once again get my fingers into the play and upset myself? What is it doing for me and my inner peace? And then you can watch it if you want to. If it doesn't disturb you and it's strictly information. I've met people who do that, and they said it just doesn't bother me. I watch everything, and I don't get emotionally involved in it. But that's when I say we have to look at ourselves and see what we're doing for our own growth and realization. And this is not easy. I mean, I was a young teenager, college student in Vietnam, Martin Luther King. We were all activists of one sort or another. But those things, when I look at them, they were happening right in our orbit. It was not something that we were watching it on the news. I mean, dinner with Vietnam. How many people, you're not my age, so you probably didn't. We had TV tables and we watched Vietnam during dinner. Now, how cuckoo is that? I mean, what are we trying to do to our stomachs and everything else? But I think as you get older, you can see there's only so much I can do in this world. I can pray for people, I can change my own behavior, but I can't cure the world. If you can, more power to you. Go out there and march, do everything you need to do. But personally, I can't change the world, and I kind of realize that. I can barely change myself. That's a big enough task right there. So with those things in mind, but that is how we would get back to our Divine Mother. Often we grow up, we can put it also in a more immediate sense. Many of us had troubles with our own mothers as we were growing up. And it makes an uncomfortable feeling, taking it from the child's point of view. Of course, it hurts your mother desperately because she's going to love you no matter what. But when you start putting behaviors well, I should have had this kind of a childhood. Well, they loved my brother more than they loved me. When we start doing that to ourselves, and even if it might have been true at that point, but you have to, at some point in your life, for your own peace of mind and your own benefit, get over it. Realize that they are just people too. And we have to, is it so important to be right? Or is it more important to love? We have to make that decision for ourselves. In my own feeling, I think most of the things that seemed like slights when you're growing up weren't. They were just people being people. Now, you might have one of those parents that was a real... But even them you have to forgive at some point, not for their benefit, but for your own. Because forgiveness is never for the other person or the other situation. It's always for yourself. It's to make you at peace in your own heart. Because if you can forgive, that they have no power over you anymore. Oof, I think I'm a little too close. They have no power over you when you can forgive them. Then what is the situation? And these are the things that we can work on in our everyday life to get closer to our Divine Mother, to get closer to Brahman, to realize that absolute oneness with that absolute oneness. You can't even contain it and say with everything, or because there are no two or this or that. It's just realize that complete oneness. I will read one other thing, because you know how much I love to talk. It'll be a short lecture today. Thou art the mother of this entire universe. Thou art the only source of strength and power. Thou art the one cause out of which this universe, with all its variety, has emanated. It is through thy love that this beautiful universe is kept in order and unison. When I read that, I thought, is it really in unison? But I believe it is, because I believe that we are bombarded with the negative instead of being given a balanced view of what the universe is. I believe that the negative is so much more exciting than the boring, the neighbors are taking care of each other. It's just not as exciting. Oh, so, these neighbors are taking food to their older neighbors. No one's making a big deal out of it. It's just the way people help each other and become part of each other. But it doesn't make news, let me tell you. How many things are they going to say about, well, today we had 4 people go out and sweep pathways for so-and-so, and we had 2 people go out and shovel snow. Everyone would kind of go, uh-huh. I mean, it would not be. But if you say, there was a shooting, and now you have to be afraid because it happened. The negative makes us fearful, doubtful. We lack faith. We don't have the strength to say, everything is within me. I can do anything. It may take me a while. Like I had a friend who's the same age as we are, and she said, well, I can still do everything I did at 20. But what took me 2 hours when I was 20 might take me 4 days now. And it's true. I mean, you can learn something. Shoot with, now, Google and YouTube, I understand, you can learn to do almost anything, and they have step-by-step to do it. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I know people who have learned many skills. But that, too, is not anything that, actually, that, too, is all part of Maya keeping us in the play, because it makes it more exciting. Oh, I can learn how to do this. I can learn how to do that. But our basic, it's that vague feeling of there has to be more. There's something more that is just ahead. And that something more isn't really just ahead. It's right here. It's right here. And we just have to turn inward to see it, to feel it, to be it, which we always have been. But we're going, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, maybe I'll peek. I'll peek and I'll wake you up. Sri Ramakrishna taught one prayer, and this Swami Prabhavananda used to hand it out for people to have and to memorize. And this was the prayer that Ramakrishna taught to people. O Mother, I throw myself on thy mercy. I take shelter at thy hallowed feet. Be gracious and grant that I may have pure love for thee, a love unsmitten by cravings for earthly things, untainted by any selfish end, a love desired by the devotee for the sake of love alone. And grant me the favor, O Mother, that I may not be deluded by their world-bewitching Maya. There is no one but thee whom I may call my own. Mother, I do not know how to worship. I am without austerity. I have no devotion nor knowledge. Be gracious, Mother, and out of thy infinite mercy, grant me love for thy lotus feet. That's where
I'm thankful for the mountains. I'm thankful for the sky. I'm thankful for the songs of birds. I love to watch them fly. I'm thankful for my family and always for my friends and for all of life's miracles. I'm thankful once again. such happiness. It helps me as I go through the ups and downs of life. It helps my heart to grow. For love, I'm always thankful, the sweetest miracle I know. I'm thankful for the trees, I'm thankful for the air, I'm thankful for the bees and for their honey that we share. I'm thankful for the animals that roam upon the earth. I'm thankful for the people and for the miracle of birth. I'm thankful for the rains, for nature as she grows, for the sweetly singing rivers and the ocean where they go. I'm thankful for the songs that we sing with all our hearts, and for the peace around us and the peace within our hearts. And your love is the greatest miracle I know. It fills me with such happiness and helps me as I go through the ups and downs of life. It helps my heart to grow. For your love, I'm always thankful, the sweetest miracle I know. For your love, I'm always thankful, the sweetest miracle I know.
Beautiful song, Jayanti. And one of the other things you can do to find your inner peace is practicing gratitude every day. Look at the things that you have to be grateful for, not at the things that you're a little picky about. And I get a little picky about a lot of things, but it's something everyone can do. Now, I have to find we have some announcements. Next Sunday, Swami Aurupeshananda will be talking, and his topic is getting devotees through horrible dry patches. Now, I know we've all had them, so that will be a good thing. Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we're starting a new book. It's going to be on Ramakrishnananda, the Apostle to the South, by Swami Tapasyananda. Swami Ramakrishnananda was one of Ramakrishna's direct disciples. That's what we're doing on Wednesdays. We're going through all of them, reading about their lives. And Saturday, the 18th, we'll have a gospel reading here in the temple at 5 also. Okay? I think that's... Oh, and also, I'm going to say this ahead. Keep Saturday the 25th open. We're going to have Swami Atmajnananda come. He's the one kind of in charge of D.C., our center in Washington, D.C., and he is coming. He will give a talk Saturday evening at 5 on pure mind, pure heart, pure joy. And then it'll be followed by a potluck. He's one of our American swamis. He used to be in Trabuco for a while. Some people might know him as Stuart. Stuart Maharaj. And yeah, we'll end with a chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat, Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.